Buenos dias. Today we're going to explore a fascinating chapter 11 about the evaluation of revenue management efforts in food and beverage services. First, we're going to discover the examination of the ways revenue managers analyze their sources of income by revenue center, time of day, and service style. Next, we will study the presentation of methods RMs used to accurately measure and assess increases and decreases in revenue generation. Lastly, is the examination of three alternative methods RMs use to evaluate their efficiency in revenue generation. Exciting, right? But first, let's introduce our trusty friend who will guide us along the way. Everyone say, "Hola" to the map.
If there's a place you gotta go, I'm the one you need to know. I'm the map. I'm the map. I'm the map. If there's a place you gotta get, I can get you there, I bet. I'm the map. 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 I'm the map.
Remember, whenever you need help, just say map, and I'll show you where to go next. Great job, explorers! We're ready for our new adventure.
Hola! Ako si Gastadora L at samahan niyo akong puntahan ng ating unang destination. Map, ano nga ba ang first destination natin? Ang first destination natin ay food and beverage revenue analysis and examination of revenue sources. Tara, pumunta muna tayo sa food and beverage revenue analysis. F&B operators usually or oftenly analyze their income generation through identifying kung ano yung pinaka-popular and kung ano yung pinaka-kumikita sa kanilang menu items. In this way, natutulungan ng mga operators na alamin kung ano ang dapat tanggalin na menu items or yung hindi popular or hindi profitable and sa kung ano ang dapat nilang i-promote na menu items, which is basically kabaliktaran ng huling nabanggit. Although there are different menu analysis systems na present, they share common principles such as identifying the most profitable or popular items and to also identify the menu item that has the most profit contribution. Now, in Figure 11.1, makikita natin ang four major systems na ginagamit for menu analysis. The first system is Miller Matrix System, which examines the menu item popularity or kung ano yung pinakamabentang menu item and the food cost percentage. At ang goal naman nito ay ma-minimize ang food cost percentage. Meaning, kailangan nating mapababa yung amount ng ginastos mo to make your items. Next is the menu engineering. The key factors naman ay ang menu item popularity and weighted contribution margin. Weighted contribution margin, dito natin malalaman kung magkano ang average profit natin sa kada nabibenta nating menu item with consideration kung magkano ang profit mo and kung ilan ang nabenta mo per menu item. So, kumbaga, it considers both profitability of your items and also its sales volume. So, magulo ba? Sige, bibigyan ko kayo ng example. Kunwari nakabenta kayo ng 2 cookies for $4 each, 4 pesos each. So, ang total nun ay magiging 8 pesos. Another one naman, nakabenta ka ng croissant for 10 pesos. So, if titignan natin ng maigi, mas mataas pa rin ang kinita ng croissant kahit isa lang ito. And it's like popularity versus your profit. The goal of menu engineering is to maximize the weighted contribution margin. Next system naman ay ang Pavisic Matrix System. The key factors are menu item popularity, food cost percentage, and the weighted contribution margin. Ang goal naman nito ay ma-maximize ang gross margin. Gross margin, this is the percentage ng kung magkano ang natira sa revenue mo after mong makover or matanggal or mabawas yung costs of goods sold. So the formula to get gross margin is gross profit over revenue multiplied by 100. So this means that In every dollar na kinikita ng company mo, may 40 cents doon na gross profit mo na gagamitin naman to cover other expenses like taxes, operating costs, and etc. Last system is the goal value analysis. Dito, pinagsama-sama na natin yung key factors from other systems but also with the selling price. Ang goal naman nito ay isali both ang fixed and variable cost in the menu item analysis. So, alam niyo naman yung pinagkaiba nun ng fixed and variable cost since lagi siyang nababanggit sa mais natin. So, our role as an RM, kahit yung pinaka-sophisticated na menu analysis system, hindi tayo nun matutulungan sa pag-address ng mga important revenue-related questions tulad nitong tatlong to. Una, kung alin ba sa revenue centers natin yung pinaka nagko-contribute ng benta sa ating operation. Pangalawa, kung yung kita ba natin ay tumataas or bumababa and by how much. And lastly, kung gaano ka-efficient ang paggamit natin sa space natin and also our staffs para mag-generate ng sales. And to find answers to questions such as this, kailangan gumamit ng RMs ng additional revenue assessment techniques. And nagugrupo ito into 3 main activities. First is the examination of revenue sources, second is the measurement of revenue change, and last is the evaluation of revenue generation efficiency. Effective RM should have many questions. Just like Anglican Bishop of London, Mandel Creighton, said, the real object of education is to have a man in the condition of continually asking questions. So dapat bilang RMs, lagi tayong may tanong or dapat lagi tayong curious to seek for improvement and satisfaction with results. So para magawa ng mga RM yun, kailangan nilang alamin kung paano tumatakbo ang operation nila. So may tatlo silang dapat natutukan sa operation. The revenue centers, the day parts and service styles, and lastly, the evaluation of revenue generating efficiency. So dumako muna tayo sa revenue centers. Most food service operations can benefit by examining their income-producing ability based on its originating source or revenue centers. So basically, revenue centers, ito yung mga business subsection or parts na nagko-contribute sa overall na kita ng isang operation. Through looking into your revenue center's performances, makikita mo kung ano ang dapat natutukan at malalaman mo rin kung alin ba yung may maayos na sales performance within your business operation. So let's take a look at figure 11.2 for example. Basically, Darla is a district manager of sandwich shops. So meron siyang 5 units. And itong mga district na ito ay parang iisa lang sa maraming district from a certain company. So para siyang corporation na may mga branches or sanga-sanga. And sa isang buong company, ang average na revenue ng isang shop ay $100,000 per month. And looking at the figure, ang total district revenue ni Darla ay $400,000. And ang average revenue per unit naman ay $80,000. So ibig sabihin, ang average na kita ng kada unit ni Darla ay $80,000. And actually, nag-exceed pa nga ang revenue ng 5 stores niya sa company average na $100,000 per month. Pero, may pero pa rin tayo since may problema pa rin si Darla. Dahil isa sa units niya ay hindi umabot sa average revenue na kailangan. So kung titignan nyo yung unit number 3, ang kita lang nito ay $50,000. And dapat $80,000 kasi ngayon yung average. And masasabi natin na kailangang solusyonan at tutukan ni Darla ang unit number 3 para makahabol ito sa other stores. And this also means that mas maayos na tignan ng RMs individually ang centers nila than the total revenue produced by your operation. So, oo nga, malaki ang kita mo pero may isang palyado sa operation mo. And that is still a problem. And also, it is better na solusyonan nito kaagad dahil maaari pa itong mag-cause ng bigger problems within your entire business or other revenue centers. So, para lang yung prutas na sira, kapag itinabi mo sa ibang prutas, maaari niyang mahawaan yung ibang prutas, so magiging bulok din ito. Now, let's look at Figure 11.3. Dito natin malalaman kung paano kunin ang revenue center contribution percentage o kung magkano ba yung na-contribute ng kada revenue center sa overall na kinita mo. Looking at the data, may tatlong revenue center ang Il Cuoco Galante. The Pellegrinos, which is a casual dining room na merong 200 seats. Pangalawa yung Artusis na merong 100 seats, and ito naman ay fine dining room. And lastly, yung Pomodoro's lounge with 50 seats. So, of course, iba-iba yung profile ng revenue centers na ito. May fine dining, may lounge, meron ding casual dining, and they also differ in seat numbers. So, it is safe to say na iba-iba rin yung magiging percentage or bahagi ng revenue na ibinibigay nito sa Il Cuoco Galante. To calculate the proportional contribution level of each revenue center, here is the formula to be used. Revenue center sales divided by total revenue is equal to revenue center contribution percentage. So, tignan natin yung Pellegrino bilang example. 245,000, which is yung revenue center sales, i-divide natin sa $785,000, which is the total revenue, and it is equal to 31.2%. Ibig sabihin, yung Pellegrino, yung kita niya ay 31.2% lamang sa overall na kinita ng company or ng Il Cuoco Galante. Now, for RMs with multiple revenue centers, the ability to better understand the relative contribution of each center can be critical to assessing and evaluating income-producing effectiveness. Ngayon, dumako naman tayo sa day parts. Day part, as we recall from Chapter 10, this indicates a meal period, like for example, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. However, a day part can consist of any definable time period that is of interest to the RM. So para makalculate natin ang contribution level on each day part, ito ang formula na dapat nating gamitin. Day part sales divided by the total revenue is equal to day part contribution percentage. So let's use figure 11.4 as a reference. Big B's Coffee Shop, which is located malapit sa State University campus, ay kumita ng $10,500 at nagbubukas ito everyday from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. And according to the table, nahati sa tatlo ang day parts, 6 to 11 a.m., 11 to 4 p.m., and 4 to 9 p.m. So, kunin natin ang contribution percentage ng 11 to 4 p.m. Applying the formula, magiging $1,075 divided by $10,500, which is the total revenue. It is equal to 10.2% ng kabuuang kita. So why is it important for RMs to assess the day parts? It is simply because monitoring day parts allows RMs to target problem areas that might not be easily identified when only an operation's total revenue generation is assessed. And understanding precisely when an operation's volume originates, peaks, or kung kailan siya tumataas or kung kailan siya nagde-decline is key in allowing RMs to implement targeted revenue or yung mga solutions or optimization responses that can improve volume levels during those slack periods. Slack periods, ito yung mga times na walang masyadong kita or revenue. Naaalala ko sa practicum ko sa Barrio Fiesta, gumawa sila ng paraan na hindi mababakante yung sales nila sa non-peak hours. So usually kasi 'di ba yung peak hours, it is from 11 to 1 p.m. and 6 to 7 p.m. onwards. So ang ginawa nila, naglabas sila ng merienda buffet from 3 to 5 p.m. Kaya kahit hapon na, may sales pa rin sila. So going to service styles. In many operations, it is just as important to analyze the service format utilized for revenue generation. So, historically or kadalasan, yung traditional na restaurant natin ay dine-in service lang. But now, meron na rin tayong drive-thru and carry-outs, meron na rin tayong deliveries. And it is important forms of revenue generation for your food service operation. And if that is the case, A regular appraisal of the revenue contribution of these alternative delivery sources will be an important part of your RM duties. So first is the drive-thru. This is originalized by In-N-Out Burgers in California. So nag-order tayo ng pagkain through speakers habang nakasakay sa sasakyan. And it is very important to note na hindi lang sa F&B or food and beverage present ang drive-thru. Meron din ito sa bangko, meron din sa prescription drugs offered by drive-thru pharmacies, also in beer, wines, sold in drive-thru stores. So, in this service style, sobrang importante ng speed or bilis, lalo na if gusto mong ma-maximize yung profit mo. According to Matt Jennings, president of data management at Minnesota-based Restaurant Technologies, for every 7-second reduction in drive-thru service time, sales will increase in 1% over time. Kaya, ang nangyari, nagkaroon ng ibang double lanes, meron na ring off-site call centers, and meron na ring touchscreen systems para mabawasan yung error sa pagkuha ng orders. In addition to speed, quality of communication such as yung two-way radio or speaker quality and order accuracy are the two factors that is most often mentioned as being of greatest importance to drive-thru guests' perceptions. Next is the carry-out. So carry-out services have historically differed from drive-thru service in two important ways. Yung una ay yung customer orders for carry-out products can be received in multiple ways. So, sa maraming paraan natin pwedeng makuha yung carry-out products natin. Pwedeng through fax, through messages, text messages, through emails, or yung mismong website ng restaurant. So, dito naman mahalaga ang effectivity sa communication method na gamit mo para syempre mapaikli yung paghihintay. Kaya for example, may pre-order systems na. So, sa Papa John's at Domino's, meron silang order system ng pre-prepared items para na rin sa gusto ng takeaway kaagad. Another difference naman ay yung carry-out sa drive-thru. And it is typical carry-out guest physically enters the food service operations place of business, the off-site delivery. So when food service operators in the United States use the word catering, they are most often referring to the delivery of products to an off-site location. So kahit anong item pa yan at kahit maliit lang yan, dapat separate pa rin yung pag-track mo ng revenue. Last one is the dine-in. So dito traditionally nagkakaroon tayo ng benta. Kadalasan isang large room lang sa dining area pero yung iba nilalagyan nila ng sections. Like for example sa Jollibee meron silang main dining area. Tapos may area din sila for birthday parties. Sa McDo naman meron pang playground. Minsan naman may part na formal lang tignan yung dining settings. Pero naman casual lang yung yung parang intended atmosphere. And it is intended for customers to feel or create a different dining experience. So, kung gusto ng customer mo na mayaman siya for a day, edi dun siya sa area na may fine dining. Kung gusto naman niya ng chill family dinner lang, pwede namang sa casual dining area. So, as an RM, overall, you must decide how to segment your revenue sources to best track their income production. In most cases, greater detail will be more useful than lesser detail. So yun nga, kailangan hinihimay-himay mo yung kada part ng operation mo than looking for lesser details. So as a result, any distinction or unique characteristic that logically leads you to believe that revenue-generating characteristics of one income source is different from another, and it is sufficient reason to track its sales volume separate. Thus, malaking advantage pag na-track mo yung revenue mo based sa combination or sometimes unique combination ng revenue centers mo or day part or service styles. And that is all for our first destination.
I'm the map, 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 I'm the map!
Hola,
soy Zaira Gastadora, and today we will study the methods RM used to accurately measures and assess increases or decreases in revenue generation. Are you excited to know this chapter? Yes, you're ready. Vamos! Alam naman natin change is inevitable and growth is optional. As a gastadora, I am curious about how food service measure their revenue change. Pataas ba to o pababa? And now let's delve into our adventure. First, how do we measure revenue growth? Parang grades lang natin yan, bagsak o pasado. In food service industry, we measure revenue according to increase and decrease in sales volume dahil dito nasusukat if a business is successful. A for-profit food service is basically a business whose goal is to profit or kumita for them to stay in the market. Examples are restaurants, bars, nightclubs, and lounges. We have learned from the past adventures that revenue minus expenses is equal to profit by the accountant's formula. And according to revenue managers, profit is the net value achieved by a seller and a buyer in a business transaction. Ang non-profit food service naman ay basically a food service operation whose continued operation not dependent on its ability to generate income over expenses. These are also referred as a non-commercial food service operation or a subsidized operations. Examples are food service facilities operated in schools, colleges, hospital, and extended care facilities. Pero, bakit nga ba mahalagang alamin natin ang revenue growth ng isang business? So let's talk about the revenue evaluation process in food service. Monitoring the revenue generation is a key to optimizing revenue and maximizing profit. This is time-consuming para sa mga RMs, but the information gained is incredibly valuable because it leads to better decision-making in the future. Now, some might wonder if worth it ba ang process na to. So now let's assess the revenue increases by knowing a counting period. It is defined as a period of time, for example, a year, month, week, day, or an hour, which is accounting wish to refer their revenue generation. And now mga amigas, we're going to help Dora's restaurant understand how their sales changed from last year to this year. Are you ready? Vamos! Step 1. Look at the sales data. First, we need to see how much money Dora's restaurant made from food and drinks last year and this year. And here's the data. Last year, food sales is $1,891,011. Beverage sales is $415,099. And the total sales is $2,306,110. And this year, food sales is $2,058,376, and beverage sales is $482,830, and the total sales is $2,541,206. Step 2. Calculate the difference. Now let's find out how much more money they made this year compared to last year. We do this by subtracting last year's sales from this year's sales. The data are food sales from this year is $2,058,376 minus $1,891,011 last year, and that is a difference of $167,365 more. And for the beverage sales naman ay $482,830 this year minus last year for $415,999, and that is $67,731 more. And the total sales is $2,541,206 this year minus last year data of $2,306 and $110 last year, and that is a difference of $235,096 more. Step 3 is to find the percentage change. To really understand the changes, let's turn those dollars amount into percentage. We use a simple formula. Percentage change is equal to this year's sales minus last year's sales over last year's sales times 100. And that is equivalent to 10.2%. So Dora's restaurants made 10.2% more money this year than last year. And for step 4, compare food and beverage sales. Makikita natin dito na did food sales increase more than the beverage sales? Let's see. Increase is $167,365 and the percentage change for that is 8.9%. And for the beverage sales naman, ang increase is $67,731 and the percentage change naman ay 16.3%. Diba, even though the food sales increase more in dollars, the beverage sales increase more in percentage. That's interesting. And we might wondering how Dora's restaurant increased sales. So nakita natin that Dora's restaurant's sales go up by 10.2%, but there are different ways that this can happen. Let's explore more and about this chapter, and there are 4 ways to see why Dora's restaurant sales increase. First one is same guest, higher spending. Imagine the same number of people coming to Dora's restaurant, but each one buys more expensive food. Next is more guests, same spending. Now think about more people coming to the restaurant, but each one spends the same amount as before. Third one is more guests, higher spending. What if more people come to Dora's restaurant and they will spend more money than before? And lastly is fewer guests, much higher spending. Finally, picture fewer people visiting, but those who do visit spend a lot more money. With good record keeping, Dora can figure out exactly which of these 4 scenarios is happening. So we've learned that Dora's restaurant total sales went up by 10.2%, food sales went up by 8.9%, and beverage sales went up by 16.3%. Great job, everyone. Remember, it is important to look at both dollar changes and in percentage changes to understand fully the picture. Excelente! And before we go to our next adventure, let's learn some new words about how restaurants talk about their money. Are you ready? Of course. So first one is top line revenues. This means all money a restaurant makes before paying any bills. It is the total income. It's different from the bottom line, which is the money left after paying everything, like the rent, salaries, like overheads. Next one is the same store sales. These are the money made by restaurants that have been open for more than 1 year. This way we can see how much the old restaurants are making, not just the new ones. And it is also called comp sales or like for like, LFL sales. This helps us to know if a restaurant is really growing or just opening more stores. Can you say same store sales? But why is it important? Knowing that difference helps us to see if a restaurant is getting more popular and making more money, or just getting bigger by opening new places. This way we can tell if a restaurant is really successful. And today is a great job, guys. Now you know about the top line revenues and same store sales. And now, let's learn together what happens when sales go down at the restaurant. Understanding the revenue decreases. When sales go down, it's important to figure out why. Bakit nga ba bumaba ang sales ko? Lugi na ba ako? Let's think about Dora's restaurant again. Sometimes things aren't as bad as they seem. Just like when Chesty Puller, a famous Marine, said, "We're surrounded." That simplifies things. He meant we need to look at the situation in a different way to understand it better. Let's do it by step guide. Step 1 is comparing the sales. First, we compare sales from last year to this year. Let's pretend that there was a restaurant near at a basketball stadium. If there were fewer games in this January compared to last January, there will be fewer people eating at the restaurant. So it's not just about the sales numbers, we just need to know what was happening around the restaurants too. Step 2 is the counting days. Sometimes the number of days a restaurant is open can change. Imagine Dilbert's Sandwich Chaos, which is only open Monday to Friday. Last January, it was open 22 days, but this January, it was open only 21 days. Let's look at the sales example. Last year, total sales was $70,710, and the days that the restaurant is open is 22 days. And this year, total sales is $17,506, but the days open is only 21 days. Hindi natin basta-basta mako-compare yung dalawa dahil they have a different days open. So we need to find the sales or the average daily sales. So last year average sales is $17,710 over 22 days is equals to $805 per day. And this year average sales naman is $17,506 over or divided by 21 days, which is equivalent to $833 and $62 per day. And step 4 is finding the difference change. So now we can see the difference from the both of the daily sales, right? And then the total sales changes is 17,710 minus the sales this year is 17,506 is equivalent to $204 less. So $204 divided by 17,710 multiplied by 100 is a 1.2% decrease. This is because of the days of open in the restaurant. So the average daily sales change can affect the decrease in the revenue sales. So we can compute this one by subtracting the $833.62 minus the $805, which is that their daily sales from this year and last year is equal to $28.62 more. So $28.62 divided by 805 multiplied by 100 is a 3.6% increase. What did we learn? Anong natutunan natin sa example na yon? So even though the total sales went down by 1.2%, the average daily sales actually went up by 3.6%. This means the restaurant was making more money each day it was open. Incredible, right? So there are important things to remember. First is check the context. Look at what was happening around the restaurants like events or holidays, and then count the days. Make sure you know how many days the restaurant was open. And the average daily sales demand is this can give you a clearer picture than just a total sales. So amigas, when we see sales going down, we need to look closer to understand why it might not be as bad as it looks. Thanks for helping me to figure this out. Hasta luego, see you next time.
I'm the map, 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 I'm the map!
Hola! Ako nga pala si Gastadora Shell. Are you ready sa adventure natin today to end? Una, tatalakayin natin ang evaluation of revenue generating efficiency. Challenge in accessing external benchmarks. Ang mga food service revenue managers ay lack of external benchmark para ikumpara ang kanilang performance mula sa kanilang mga competitors. Wala silang madaling makuha datos sa mga restaurant or bar operators para sa market share, capacity utilization, at pricing effectiveness. Sa use of internal measures naman, nagbibigay ng taunang sales forecast ang National Restaurant Association, pero Karamihan sa mga food service revenue managers ay nagre-rely on internal measures na sila mismo ang bumubuo. Ang ilang quick service restaurant, QSR chains, ay nagbibigay ng sales-related data sa mga franchises at company store operators. Naiintindihan nyo ba 2N? Pwede po ba kayo mag-heart react? "2N, we're on our way to learn more. Konti na lang. Sana gising pa kayo. Tara, 2N. Talakayin na natin kung ano ang effective revenue optimization strategies. Ang revenue optimization involves discipline tactics para ma-predict ang buyer responses, i-optimize ang availability ng produkto, at to maximize ang mga kita. Ang isang magaling na revenue managers ay maaaring suriin ng kanilang kakayahan sa pag-optimize ng mga kita sa iba't ibang paraan. Ngunit, ang isang komprehensibong pagsusuri ay nangangailangan ng pag-evaluate ng facility usage, labor usage, at capacity management. 2N, may tatlong alternative methods. Revenue managers use to evaluate their efficiency in revenue generation. Una, revenue per square foot. Pangalawa, revenue per labor hour. At ang pangatlo, revenue per available seat hour or RevPAS. Pwede po bang mag-like react kung naiintindihan at nakikinig? Una, ano nga bang revenue per square foot? Ang revenue per square foot ay sumusukat kung gaano ka-efficient ang isang operation sa pag-generate ng kita kaugnay sa space na ginagamit nito. Tinutulungan nito ang mga operator na maunawaan ng paggamit ng space at kakayahang kumita ng mas malaki. Paano nga ba ito kino-compute? An operation's total annual revenue divided by the number of square feet occupied by the operation equal revenue per square foot, also referred to as sales per square foot. Para mas maunawaan, halimbawa nito, ang isang restaurant ay may annual sales na $900,000 and occupies 1,500 square feet. To solve this with the formula, $900,000, the annual sale, divide 1,500 square feet, equal. Pwede nyo bang i-type sa chat box ang tamang sagot? Tama! May tama kayo. $600 revenue per square foot. 2N. Ano nga ba ang kahalagahan ng revenue per square foot? Kapag mas mataas ang value ng revenue per square foot, nagpapakita ito ng greater efficiency and profitability. Kapag naman mababa ang value, ay nagpapahiwatig ng inefficiency. Ang revenue per square foot ay nagbabaris based sa uri ng mga establishmento, lokasyon, gayon din ang presyo ng menu. Dapat, patuloy na monitor ng revenue managers upang matukoy ang mga changes and assess operational efficiency. May external factors tulad ng changes in mall traffic ay maaaring makaapekto sa revenue per square foot, kaya't mahalagang subaybayan ito ng maigi. Pwede po bang heart react kapag naintindihan? Pangalawa, tukuyin natin kung ano naman ang revenue per labor hour. Figure 11.10 shows the three popular measures of labor cost. First, labor cost percentage. The formula is cost of labor divided revenue. This metric examines the proportion of revenue spent on labor. A lower percentage indicates better labor efficiency. This tool helps revenue managers understand how much of their income is used to pay for labor. Ideally, they want to keep this percentage under control to maximize profits. Second, labor dollars per guest served. The formula is cost of labor divided guest served. Purpose niya ay to reveal the average labor cost associated with serving a single guest. It's useful in comparing labor costs across different periods or locations and identifying areas for improvement. Third, guest served per labor dollar. Formula is guest served divided cost of labor. It indicates the number of guests served for each dollar spent on labor. A higher number signifies better labor efficiency. This is the inverse of the previous metric. It reflects how effectively the labor is utilized to serve guests. A higher number suggests the operation is getting good value from its labor investment. Let's solve this to end. The total revenue is $83,800 divide 1,992.25 labor hours used equal. Pwede nyo bang i-type sa chat box ang tamang sagot? $42.06 that's 4-week revenue per labor hour. Galing naman ng tuan na yan. Narito naman ang aking kaibigang Unggoy para ipaliwanag ang 6 strategies for increasing food service revenues per labor hour. Siya ay si Mabet Chong, Branch Manager of Ringo Marilao.
6 strategies for increasing food service revenue per labor hour. 1. Emphasize the relationship between revenue and the server's own income. This will be a connection between the company along with the team members. Simplify giving them the setting of performance goals and objectives. 2. Set reasonable targets. Discuss with the team the mechanics and track their progress to encourage the consistent performance. 3. Publicize results. By giving them certificates and other recognitions rewards coming to their performance, this will be served as motivations and continue to be more competitive with other members. 4. Provide tangible rewards. Feedbacks is an essential tool for fair and balance of positive competitive performance, giving them reward to and incentives to the top seller. 5. Train. Suggestive selling and upselling will be great contributions to achieve the target goal of the performer's objective. And lastly, 6. Performance evaluation to those servers who simply can't perform. Monitor and reassign those underperforming despite training efforts and coaching. It's not just about trying new food or products. It's also about learning the best practices within your industry.
Ano nga ba kino-compute ang revenue per labor hour? The formula is total revenue divide labor hours used equal revenue per labor hour. For example, sa figure 11.11, EDSAT's 4-week revenue per labor hour. EDSAT's restaurant generated revenue ranging from $18,400 to $24,800 across 4 weeks. Labor hours used varied between 410 and 551.75. Consequently, revenue per labor hour ranged from $37.80 to $44.95. Heart react po ulit kapag gising pang lahat. Last is revenue per available seat hour or repash. The effective monitoring and management of repash ay idinisenyo upang pataasin ang kita sa pamamagitan ng pag-focus sa duration of guest dining experiences, pati na rin sa halagang kanilang ginagastos. Duration is simply that length of time customers occupy a seat or table. I-recall lang natin from Chapter 1 ang formula. Total revenue divide available seat hours equal revenue per available seat hours or repash. Here's the example. Si Sarah ay may 100 seats available and it was open for dinner from 5 p.m. hanggang 10 ng gabi. They served 400 guests, filling 80% of their seats with an average bill of $50.88. Ang kanilang total na kinita for that night ay $20,350. Ang tanong, ay ilan ang revenue per available seat hour? To solve this, first is seats times hours to get the total available seat hours. So, 100 seats times 5 hours equal 500 hours. To get the rev-pash, total revenue $20,350 divide available seat hours, which is 500, equal. Pwede nyo bang i-type sa chat box ang tamang sagot? $40.70 revenue per available seat hour. Magaling to end. Sa figure 11.14 naman, RevPAR and RevPash commonalities. Sa lodging industry, the capacity utilization measure occupancy percentage, while sales per unit measure is average daily rate or ADR. The formula is occupancy percentage times ADR equal RevPAR. Sa food service naman, the capacity utilization measure seat utilization percentage, and sales per unit measure is check average. The formula is seat utilization percentage times check average equal rev-pash. Focus on peak hours 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Just like evaluating hotel performance solely based on occupancy or room rate is insufficient. Focusing only on seat utilization or check average for restaurants provide an incomplete picture. By understanding rev-pash and its components, Sarah's restaurant manager can make data-driven decisions to optimize revenue and seat usage, especially during peak hours. The importance of table size and layout. Larger tables with small parties, if all tables are 4-seaters, but most parties have 2 or 3 people, it reduces seat utilization because fewer parties can be accommodated. More small tables. Having a mix of table sizes, including smaller 2-seaters, allows for seating more parties and potentially increasing seat turnover during peak hours. Also, we can use the original rev-pash formula or with this alternative rev-pash formula. Seat utilization percentage times check average equal rev-pash. Let's compute in Sarah's revenue. 0.80 times $50.88 equal $40.70. Again, huwag nating kakalimutan ng 3 alternative methods RMs used to evaluate their efficiency in revenue generation. Ito ang revenue per square foot, revenue per labor hour, and revenue per available seat hour or rev-pash. We almost made it to end. Thanks for joining us. Hanggang sa muli, Kagastadora. Bye-bye!
The map, I'm the map!
Let's analyze the revenue. There are 12 steps for evaluating revenue generation in food service operation. First one is to analyze revenue by centers each week. Say it with me. Each week. Look at how much money each part of the business makes, like the cafe or the restaurant. Next is analyze revenue by time of the day each week. Say it with me, each week. Check if more money is made in the morning, afternoon, or night. Third one is to analyze revenue by service style each week. Say it with me, each week. See how much money is made by different service styles like takeout or dine-in. Next is analyze revenue by all factors monthly. Say it with me, each month. Look at the revenue from different centers, times of the day, and service styles for the whole month. Next is calculate dollar and percentage changes regularly. Say it with me, regularly. Check how much the revenue has gone up or down in dollars and percentages. Next is monitor alcoholic beverage sales separately. Say it with me, separately. Keep track of drink sales and food sales separately. Next is check revenue per square foot regularly. Say it with me, regularly. See how much money is made per square foot of the business space. Next is check revenue per labor hour regularly. Say it with me, regularly. See how much money is made for every hour worked by the staff. Next one is track guess and average check consistently. Say it with me, consistently. Count the number of guests and how much they spend on average. Next is a monitor seat utilization hourly. Say with me, hourly. Check how many seats are filled at different times of the day. Next is set and assess CrefPash goals. Say it with me, set goals. Set goals are for revenue per available seat hours and check progress regularly. Next is monitor staffing, food production, and service standard continuously. Say it with me, continuously. Keep an eye on the staffing levels, food preparation, and service quality to make sure everything runs smoothly and makes the most money. We did a great job learning about the revenue. Great job, everyone, and see you next time.